was right off the back, just sitting down and looking at all of the Christians that were sitting there, and even people who weren't saved yet, who didn't come to Christ yet, just raising their hands to God in worship. That blew my mind.
All this other stuff, so it just made me realize that I'm a passionate person on certain things, and I'm very outgoing. I speak to people a lot, so it made me realize that I should, put God in that and make that a bigger thing instead of making all that selfish and things that really don't matter. So that's what it really brought to me.
And there were some other things going on in my mind, and I had been dry for a long season, so worship really revived me.
In our community group, she was talking about just like having a hunger and passion for the word, and I want that, and so like
he saw a woman with leprosy. She had no fingers, her nose was gone, and she was covering herself up as best she could, like trying to get away from him. And he almost said, "Oh, what a horrible, ugly woman." But then he thought to himself, "Oh," and he realized not what a horrible, ugly woman, but what a horrible, ugly heart that he was living with.
But what I heard for sure is like you have not intentionally led your wife well enough to where y'all could be like that together. How he responded to that adversity and then praising God in the pain. And it's like, man, I know I've not had enough spiritual conversations with Courtney, leading her for us to have one heart and one mind on how we would respond to situations and stuff. We've done it some, and I was convicted from the Lord, and I asked for His forgiveness, and I've asked for Courtney's forgiveness.
And then when John Piper was speaking, he talked about how you need to put Jesus and God as the supreme value of your life, and that if you find that if you truly love Him, then your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life.
So I had my community group pray for me and pray for my sister that I'd be able to kind of be a better role model for her. Yeah.
I just thought it was a really cool thing to see all these people my age group, like, because you don't see that on college campuses, and like just around you don't see a whole lot of people our age in search for the same thing, in search for God, in search for Jesus. And it was really cool getting to talk to some of them in the community groups. I thought that was one of the coolest things too. Like just getting...
When Louis Giglio talked about the whole victor, I really could identify with that, and I really felt that.
I think every single talk I can think of at least one thing that I think God really put on my heart and like stuck on me, and that I will probably remember for a really long time.
They had to do a second vote because the main leader was about to leave. Like he couldn't have made the second day, so they voted for me. And I was having like a little panic attack because I didn't know the word that much. It's true, I was like having an anxiety attack. And so I was just thinking to myself, like, just go with the flow. Just let God lead you and see what happens.
And then also I was... I'd like to be a better role model for my sister because I know she's kind of struggling ever since she went off to college. She hasn't been.
Then Levi Lesko, of course, was a very much a blessing. His testimony was just really kind of a gift to me. I felt like because I was expecting Piper and Ravi, and to have Levi was very sweet, and I really feel like that God had that just for me.
God spoke to me, I guess, in a lot of ways, and like I'm having like hard time like fathoming like all that He spoke to me, and like.
The guy had Beth Moore come up actually, and he was like asking her questions, and he said like why do you have such a hunger for the word, like what got you there, like how did you get there, and she just said, like God promises that if we ask according to His will, like He's already given it to us, like He's going to give it to us. And that's something that He promises. And that just, like, it really spoke to me.
Difficult, but what was really cool was to see the ways that, even though like I was heartbroken, like the ways that God just gave me like strength and joy in that situation, and like
just like, do my actions match what I say I believe? Because if they don't, it doesn't really mean much. It doesn't really mean anything. Like I can have what I believe inside, but if I'm not acting on it, it's not really doing any benefit to anyone else. And that's very selfish of
And I came back thinking of the word revival. It was stuck in my mind, and I wanted to do something about it. I was
Victory in him. Now go and tell people. And like he talked about, just like there's people all around you that are dying. Yeah, I mean, it just struck me that we really need to get out there and by God's power draw people into.
Like a bride waiting for her groom, will be a church ready for you, and that's what I want. That's what I want. I want the whole church to move as a unit, not just me enter the gates of heaven, but I want to have brothers and sisters running full sprint towards the gates.